Good day, everyone. My name is James Ubar. I'm from Dark Dungeon Studio, and I'm going to take you through an asset that we developed called the Directory Database Search Engine. So this tool is essentially developed with the use case of us having a lot of files, a lot of assets like music, images, 3D models, and all this sits on our local hard drive somewhere. And we don't want to import all those assets at the same time into our Unity project just to have easy and quick access to them. So we essentially sat down and thought for a bit, how can we search for and import these assets fairly quickly, almost like while we write inside of Unity. So this is how this asset came to be, and we've decided to make it available to you guys, and I'm going to take you through how it works. So once you've imported the asset from the package manager, I've already done so, you'll have a new window under Tools at the top, and you can just follow this menu. So it's Tools, Directory, Database, Search Engine, and then you'll see there's two options. There's Search and Edit Preferences. You can't use this asset until you've actually set up your preferences, and I'm going to take you through that now. And that involves creating search categories and associating certain file extensions and certain file types to those search categories. And I'll show you now how this works. So I'm going to click on Edit Preferences, and you're going to get this little window. So you can see I currently have two search categories set up here, 3D models and audio. You can add new categories at the bottom, you can edit your categories, and you can delete them. So you can delete these entirely, and now you don't have any search categories, which means that you won't be able to search for anything until you've set up a new search category. And this could be anything. It could be specific to audio files, it could be specific to a project. These preferences are saved to the Unity editor preferences, and that means that they actually persist across multiple projects. So if you start a new project and decide to import this asset into that project, the preferences will persist, and you'll be able to use this throughout different projects and potentially different Unity versions as well. So I'm going to create a new search category quick. I'm just going to add the audio one back in. It doesn't have to be capital, it could be lower, it doesn't really matter. You can't have two of the same name exactly, but you can have an audio with an uppercase and audio with a lowercase. It doesn't really check for that, but at the moment you can just type in audio and click add. Immediately it's going to take you to the managing search category audio window. So this is the search category we just added, and this is where we manage it. So you'll see a few red lines here, which we need to complete before we can actually use this search category. So the first one you'll notice is we need to set a search directory root folder. This is going to be the folder that this search category is going to search for. So we name this on audio. So essentially you want to target a folder where you've saved all your audio files. It could be your sound effects, could be anything really you want, music. So I'm going to click on that button, and I'm going to get a little pop-up, and then I'm just going to look for my folder that I want to select, and mine isn't actually written out as audio. I want to select that, and then you can see it's currently set to my F drive and to the audio file. Then we need to set your import directory folder. Now it's important that you choose a folder that sits within your Unity project, because else it's just going to copy the asset files over into whichever directory you choose and won't actually import into your Unity assets project. So it's important to go select something that's under your assets, and we can create something like a audio file inside of my assets folder, where I will be saving and importing all these assets into. So now you'll see it's moaning about file extensions that's missing. There's no file extensions. So you need at least one file extension for a search category to be a valid search category for you to actually be able to use it. I'm going to add the .mp3 file extension. It's very important to add the dot in because otherwise it's not going to find your file types. So I'm going to click add, and now you see all the red errors are gone. But I also want to associate WAV files, and you can also do OGG files. I don't have any of those, so I'm not going to bother adding that in right now. All right, now you can click back, and it's going to take you back to your search categories list. And again, if you want to edit it at any point, you can just come back in here and make any changes. If you click on the buttons up here again, so if I click on that, it'll open the folder where you were again, and then you can change it if you want to a different directory. But I'm going to keep it like that. So now we're ready to search for music or audio. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to go Tools, Directory, Database, Search Engine, Search. All right, and we get this new window. So yeah, it's first prompting you to select a search category. So I'll click there, and we only have the one to select from, which is audio. So I'm going to click that. And now we can select something or search for something. You'll notice that you must at least enter one character. This is just to speed up the search a bit so you don't just get a massive dump of all the files you've got, especially if you have thousands of files. It could lengthen the search quite a bit. And depending on your computer itself, that length could vary dramatically. So I'm going to look for something called fire because I know I've got a lot of audio files with the word fire in it. It just takes a few seconds and it populated a list for me. If you're storing everything on a hard disk drive like I am, if you haven't accessed that drive for a while and you do a search, you might just need to wait for your PC to spin up that drive and just get it into the correct awake state. This will wait until that happens. It might just take a little bit longer. All right, so the first thing you'll notice is the search results found 339 files. So that's how many files I have with the word fire in it. And it's paginated it to 14 pages. I'm on page 1 out of 14. And there's a previous page and a next page button. We only display 25 items at a time. This just makes it easier to navigate, and it's less intense on the Unity editor if you display less of these at a time. One thing you'll notice with each of these files, there's a preview button and there's an import button. If you click on the preview button, and at the moment this is only supported for audio clips, it will try and play a preview for you. So if I actually click that, it's actually playing a preview very loudly to me at the moment. There's no volume control, so just if you're playing these preview files, remember to turn down your volume a bit, especially if you are using headsets. Yeah. And the second I feel like, okay, cool, I want to import this 9 Dark Fantasy Studio House on Fire song, I can just click import. It's going to take a second to copy it over. And here you can see it created an audio folder and it copied my my song right into it. And you can do this for anything. At the moment, it will throw an exception if you try and import the same thing twice. As you notice, there's the exception. It's just saying that it already exists. The path already exists. So we're still working on some error checking there. That will come out in the next version. Yeah, and pagination, again, you can just click next, next, and you'll see it nicely switches between all the different files that it has found. At any point in time, if you want to change it to something else, so let's search something called magic, you can either click on the search button or you can just press enter on your keyboard and it'll kick off a new search. You can see this time I've got a lot more results. I've got 2,293 results and it was quite quick. The reason it's so quick is because of the pagination. So we just do a count and then we filter out the files that we actually don't want to access right away. And then, yeah, we can just page through everything. If you're more specific, then you'll find what you want. You can use certain search criteria as well. So I can go something like, so let's say there's magic and it's cast. So I can go magic and I can go cast. I can search that. So then it's going to return a file for me with the word magic and the word cast anywhere after the word magic. And then that'll return a list to me with that. So it does support some basic search functionality or searching structures. And that's pretty much it for this asset. It's nice and streamlined. At any point in time, you can go back and you can go and edit your preferences if you want to set it to a different folder structure. We can do one for 3D models quick, so I'm just going to go 3D models, add that in. We can set the root directory for where my 3D art is located. Set the import file. So I will do that again underneath assets, and I'll create a folder for 3D art. I'll select that. And then I want to associate .fbx files, and I want to also associate .obj files. So now we've set up a search category for 3D art specifically. If I close this and I go back to the search window, now you'll see we can select 3D models. And I don't have a lot of 3D models at the moment, but I know I have a telegraph machine somewhere. So I'll select that. So that actually didn't find it, which means it's not there anymore. Let's do a search. It's not finding it. All right. So the reason why it wasn't finding this is because I did set it to the incorrect search directory. I'm just going to correct that quick. 3D models, and I'm going to change my search directory instead of 3D art and change it to Dark Dungeon Studio, because that's why I saved my own personal assets. And close that. Now we can do tools, search again, 3D models, and now I can go for the telegraph, and there's the telegraph FBX. Preview won't work for it at the moment. It's only supported for audio files, but the import does work. So there you can see it's the 3D art and telegraph has been imported. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the asset as much as I will, and I hope you find it useful. If you wish to contact me, our email details, our Discord details, YouTube channel details, and everything is in the documentation, which is included as part of this asset here already. So you can have a look at that to your own leisure, and I hope it explains everything around the application and how to use it. Thank you so much.